Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market Prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. I'm doing better, a little bit better each day. We're getting back into the swing of things. Head's still a little bit thick, but we'll make it through in this lovely fall day here. So we'll.
Yeah, man. Glad you're feeling much better. You definitely pulled through this week. But yeah, man. Glad you're feeling better, especially going into the weekend. So yeah, friends, let's take a quick look before we get started and looking at our U.S. economic data. Let's look at our gappers list here. We got a couple of things in the green. So the market right now starting a little bit strong, at least for many tickers on this list. And if you notice here, we got a bunch of Chinese tickers this morning on the gap up list by quite a lot too, like BABA 3%, JD 5.3, PDD 4.1, Futu 6.4. I mean, we are rocking this morning. So definitely in play today. SPY's a little bit higher. I'm sure we'll probably see some other tickers appear here if that continues. On the gap down, we got a little bit of stuff, just 3 on the rest. CVS earnings. I have not looked at this, but I'm gonna bet my money's earnings because we never see CVS on the list. So the earnings are some kind of news because they're down 9.7. This stock just does not move. So we'll get to all of this in just a second. But before that, let's look at our U.S. economic calendar. Peter, what's going on for this beautiful morning?
All right. Well, we didn't. We only had 2 numbers that came out this morning. Sorry, I was just trying to get them loaded. I'm too slow. But building permits and housing starts are the 2 things I was looking at. Housing starts came in dead on target, 4,000 more, but basically, so 1.354 million is what they came out at. So again, on target. And then building permits slightly lower. 1.45 million was the forecast. 1.428. So 4.3 anyways was the actual. So again, not enough to make the market care. We'll probably largely ignore that. So pretty quiet otherwise. We've got one speaker, Waller, speaking later today around noon. Not a market impact unless he says something crazy, which they've typically been good at avoiding. Impressive, actually, considering how often they've been on the speaking circuit. They must all have tightly controlled scripts that they have to stick to because the market has not ever been reacting, despite all of these Fed chair people out there on the speaking circuit day after day after day, and they must be sticking to the message quite heavily because otherwise the market would be all over the place. So anyways, pretty light day here on the economic calendar. So Carlos, to what you were talking about a minute ago, we're all about what's gapping.
We sure are. All about what's gapping this morning. Stock market strong in some sectors more than others. Obviously, at the China sector, you can see here, nice and strong this morning. So we'll dive into some of these, and then low flows continue to just rock this week. I mean, look at the top 3, 277,000 on the float, 8.5, and then a million, and then 5.3 million. So low flow palooza, like Peter likes to say, is on full force this morning. So, and we had a couple yesterday. We had ATNF. Let's take a look at this stock. This was a high, actually 2 days ago, I believe it was.
It was 2 days ago. Yeah.
But yeah, this was
yesterday. Was
NIX. 2 days ago. NIX is the
exactly.
one. Yeah, NIX. What's the ticker on that one?
NIXX.
The ticker for NIX. NIXX. Okay, I'm mixing an X here.
Yeah.
Look at this brutality. So yeah, this is just insane. But yeah, it's been definitely low flow week. I mean, they're just all very active. So we'll look at a few of those as we get going. Yeah, exactly. It's a trap. I mean, it's just insane. All right. Can't stress enough how careful you have to be with these things. Let's look at the first one on here. SOBR. SOBR is this is what is it? Okay, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hold on. There it is. A little bit better. Still not great. We're up 141%, 1.6 million shares traded. I mean, for a very, very low flow stock, this is at 277,000, guys. Just be careful. We've been seeing this all week. This one is flying here. It won't shock me if Jared's already long on this thing. He has been completely crushing it with these low flows this week. So hopefully he's trading carefully. But yeah, from 15, 14 to 19, I mean, this thing is on fire. Peter, any news on this low flow stock? We're up 141 right now with some volume.
No idea. I don't really see any real news. Like you said, very low float, less than 2 million shares out there, $18 million market cap. I mean, I don't care. I have to say,
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's crazy. Next one on the list, guys. Again, low flow stocks. Be very, very careful. I think we stress enough how cautious you have to be when trading these things. We really don't focus on low flow stocks. And my strategy, it just doesn't work. On my trade book, I think one of the first criteria for what I look for in a stock is between mid to large flow stocks. It's the first thing. So I'm not even going to consider any low flow for my strategy. They're fun to watch. I watch them for entertainment purposes only. And I love to see people make money on it. So when Jared does his thing, I love to see that, but I'm not going to be one jumping on that. Here's the next one, Peggy, PEGY, 8.5 million shares flow. This one, not as exciting. It does have 5.7 million shares traded, but not moving at all right now. So volume has traded on this thing. It's pretty quiet, up 64%. Again, doesn't look great. Peter, not sure if you looked up the news on this. Again, another low flow stock that we normally don't look at. Thoughts?
Yeah, you know you're dealing with a small company when the big news is that they terminated the lease for their former headquarters, which is going to save them about $500,000 a year. I mean, that's the news. What's interesting, this is Pineapple Energy is what they're called. Pineapple Energy that terminated the lease of their headquarters in Minnesota. Does that just all sound misplaced somehow? I just, first off, it's a solar energy company. I don't expect a solar energy company to be in Minnesota and not called Pineapple Energy. It all feels odd. But anyways, that's the news. Whatever's happening here.
Yeah, it's just insane. Good question, Leonardo, over on YouTube chat. One of our longtime viewers is asking, what do we consider mid to large cap, and what is our definition? Well, my personal definition of low flow. I think overall, people consider low flow anything under 50 is on the lower side. I really consider anything under 20. Under 20 becomes really, really risky. We've seen stocks around 30 and 40 million trade okay, even though they're on the lower side. But anything under 20, I have not seen anything under 20 trade reasonably good for a 5-minute ORB. So you got to be very, very careful. So under 20 is a no-no for that strategy. Between 30 and 50, sometimes you see something great, especially if the price is higher. If the price is lower, then usually I will avoid it. Under $10, I'm avoiding it. But you have these stocks, 45 million shares flow that are trading around, $35, $40 are an actual company with employees that do tend to trade very well. So it really depends. You got to do a little bit of research. There's no hard gray line or black and white line on this one. So, but under 20 for sure, like we've seen this week. I mean, 277,000. I mean, that's just, what is that? It's crazy. So yeah, that's the way I look at it for my trade book. Peter, what's your take on this as well? We'd like to know.
Exactly what you said. I mean, anything under 20 million shares in the float, I consider a low float. I usually try and look at the the market cap as well. They tend to go together, but I like to trade things with the market cap that are over at least $100 million. This Peggy, for example, their market cap is 1.7 million. I mean, anyways. We have a market cap of bigger than 1.7 million, but anyways, it's a pretty small company. They actually, I was reading further news on this. It looks like Peggy did have yesterday a reverse 1-for-50 stock split. I'm not seeing that reflected in the chart, so maybe it's all been updated. But so yeah, so that means 2 days ago, this thing, what is now $8, was which was what, $5 yesterday. 1-for-50 reverse stock split. So that means this was trading at like 10 cents. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
That's a penny stock if ever there was one.
it, it is. Uh, yeah, I don't like it here. And then also another question here from who asked this? DJ Mix was asking a short squeeze on SOBR. I was looking at the on the gappers list. We have it here. The short flow interest, right? And it's only 1.2, so that's not really a short squeeze. Like when you start seeing 40% short interest on it, 30% above that, it starts getting very interesting. We saw that with like GameStop, and that's we had that massive, obviously the historic move that we had there. That was a short squeeze for sure. Here it's just people buying it in, right? So based on what the numbers we have right now, there's not a big short interest on this thing. So it's just people getting in here and enjoying the ride for how they can at the moment. All right. Next one on here, we saw this earlier this week too, was drug. So drug a couple of days as well went from $2, $0 over to 37, hanging out here though. So very interesting that you had to move up. A lot of the low flow stocks usually tend to come right back to where they came from. This one is hanging out for a little bit, actually looking to go for another run. It is up 43%, 1.2 million shares traded. Bright Minds Bioscience. Peter, we've seen so many news on these low flows. I can't recall what the news was on this one, but they're enjoying some upwards action this morning. Anything else developing, or obviously maybe
Well,
continuing
this
from a
is the
few days
one
ago?
where they specifically issued a press release saying that there was no news. This is the one where the Canadian, the CR, what is it called? The CIRC, the Canadian Investment
Oh yeah,
Research
yeah.
Council, or I forget what it was. Anyways, had them release a statement saying, "We are not aware as a management team of any material change in our company's operations or business practices causing this." Basically, they're saying, "Wasn't us, man. Like, we had nothing to do with it." Because obviously there'd be a problem if the management did something to cause their stock to suddenly inflate. So yeah, drug's an interesting one, and like you said, fascinating that it's holding this level because there doesn't seem to be any justification for it. So
Yeah, it's wild.
we I
I'm gonna
still
put
think
this on
it's
the
I
list.
still think it's Andrew. I should say, by the way, that's just
That's when Andrew
you know
came back.
Andrew came back. This
When
is a
Andrew
Vancouver company.
uh-huh.
Their
Yeah.
deal in they're trying to turn psychedelic drugs into pain medication. I don't know. It all sounds suspicious. These are dancing mushroom. I mean, all sounds suspicious to me. So now I'm just creating conspiracy theories. But
Yeah, yeah, it's wild. I want to see this entertainment purposes for me. Really, I mean, I won't be jumping in, but it's no news whatsoever. Company has says there's no news, and we don't care. We're going long. We're going to break the 40 here if we continue. So I like drug 1.29 and 43% of this morning and climbing. All right, let's get to some other tickers on our list. Let's look at Chinese stocks because they're basically taking over this entire list here. We got some Bitcoin stuff coming in here, but for the most part, Chinese all over the place. Tickers: Billy, Lee, XBEF, Futu, Becky, JD. You got PDD on here, Baba, Baidu. I mean, you name it, they're all on here. So, Peter, overall, China's Chinese economic news out or something pushing these things higher?
I mean, we've had the overall disappointment, I guess, in the Chinese market, knowing that it's fairly depressed, and the government hasn't. I mean, they announced a whole bunch of money that they're willing to infuse to set it to prop it up, but hadn't heard any details on that. It feels like this is just sort of a bounce back after that sort of pull down we had on everything. I don't see any particular news. I'm not seeing headlines that would suggests that that perspective has changed or the Chinese economy has suddenly taken off. So yeah, I mean, Carlos, I'm a little bit at a loss. I've dead cat bounce type thing is what I'm attributing it to at this point.
Yeah. You see on here, guys, pick your favorites out of all of these. They're in play this morning. Volume not as high as we've seen when they were really going, except for Baba. Baba tends to get the better volume out of most of these Chinese tickers. They have 1.1 million shares traded, up 3%, but they have not been the best trader. Like we've seen in some cases, PDD trade better than Baba. We're not getting really great moves in the intraday. I'm still going to add Baba to our list today. Just to see what we get out of this. Again, we're up 1.1, 3.2. And then PDD is my secondary when it comes to these Chinese tickers. That would be on my secondary list here, up 4%. Volume is okay. And then Futu, we have our FU to U here, also with some volume, 1.1 million shares traded, up 6.8. So again, pick your favorite, PDD and BABA for me. As we look through this list, there's some other ones that are not Chinese related, like our buddy Netflix. Netflix on deck this morning, up 6.5, 300. Yeah, go ahead.
Just on China, I was just trying to find some news here, read into it. There was a speech made by the central bank, the Chinese central bank governor yesterday. Well, today, but the day's over in China. But anyways, earlier today, where did give strong indications, said that they would likely cut the Chinese lending rate by 25 to 50 basis points by the end of the year, based on current economic conditions. So as we know, lowering interest rates in country typically is good for the market because it makes lending conditions more attractive for business. That's exactly what we're waiting for the U.S. Fed to be doing, right? Later, in November. So I guess that news probably would push it. I see one of our members, Dave K, saying that Chinese retail sales increased. I can't find news articles supporting that, but those could be the two little bits of news, I suppose, that are pushing the Chinese sector. So just in case you guys are looking to understand why. But Netflix, yeah, we got to talk Netflix. It was the one earnings target from yesterday. It was crazy. It was all over the place at the close yesterday as they released their numbers. It was down $30, up $30, and that was in the same minute with a $5 spread. Like, those first couple of candles were just crazy to watch. Like, the thing literally dropped to 670. It was up to 705. It was back down to 680. It was up to 700. Like, it was just, and I said, with a $5 spread each time. We had a couple of members that bit the bullet and jumped in, and credit to them, but I just couldn't do it. It was just insane. But it's up, and it's held the gains because when all the dust settled, they did have a great quarter. They basically beat on every metric. They beat on revenue, they beat on bottom line, they beat on earnings. They added over 5 million new subscribers, which was above forecast. So it was a good quarter for Netflix. Some of it is because of the crackdown they've been made on sharing accounts, including my family, which sucks, but that's what it is. They're riding high this morning on the basis of that strength. So you're welcome, Netflix. I'm paying your damn
My
fees.
wife, I think, is still sharing a password with my sister-in-law. So I got to figure out how they're doing that. But yeah, I don't think we pay. I don't see it coming out of my bill unless she's paying for it. And she still watches Netflix or show. So I got to see how they're doing it. But yeah, password sharing, it's a thing, man, that I've definitely been guilty of. Well, my wife more than me. All right, there it is. Netflix looks good this morning, guys. It normally does not trade very well. It moves a lot, though. It's a stock that can move, $20 very easily with very light volume. Today, we were hoping that we can get some good movements with volume out of this one. So we're up 6% on it, 413,000 shares traded on that news. I'm going to add it on here to my main one. It is in play for sure this morning.
I see Aaron in the chat room. Aaron, who was trading after hours last night, and I know that Aaron had a great trade on Netflix. So congrats to that.
Nice.
Just because it was great yesterday, by the way, don't necessarily expect it to trade wonderful this morning, right? It's a much different character when you get the once the opening bell rings, and Netflix might go back to its old boring ways, but we'll find out. I mean, I'm going to be watching it just in case. So, but yeah, don't make assumptions as to which way it's going to go, because the big money hasn't weighed in yet, right? Like, trades very differently after hours and pre-market than it does once the big bucks step in. They may not be as happy as the headlines would make us think they are. So
yeah,
but yeah, Carlos, you got to be careful. You don't want people to hear you if you're sharing an account.
I see Sissel telling me on here, hey, don't say that on YouTube. Algorithm will pick that up. Exactly. Say, hey, check out this this guy over here. Check out his account.
But I mean, I have to admit, like, I'm one of those cases where, I mean, to me, it was legitimate, right? I got 3 kids; they're all adults now. I mean, I've had a Netflix account for a long time. When it started, we were all a family living in the same house, and we're kids, man. Like, so I got an account, and my kids had their own account, so they could keep their favorites and preferences and stuff, right? And it made sense. But then the kids grew up
Yep.
and moved. And the fact that they moved to 3 different cities and 2 different countries, then it became more of a problem. And Netflix is like, wait a second, man, you were not all living in the same household. And I'm like, we're still a family, but with a married son living in Scotland and a daughter over in London, Ontario, and it's definitely, we're geographically dispersed at this point. And I'm like, all right, I guess I need to do something different now. I was still paying for it.
Yeah.
They're still my kids, but doesn't meet their rule expectations anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Netflix on deck, guys. We like Netflix here, and they're looking good this morning. Hopefully they can trade well. Back to our gappers list, friends. Again, we cover the top ones here on our low flow stocks, so that's all taken care of. We didn't like any, but we do like SOBR, drug for entertainment purposes. The rest, be very careful with. We looked at the Chinese tickers. We looked at Netflix. And that about covers it. I did see CleanSpark coming up here, which is a Bitcoin play, but they're not really moving much. Up 2.6, 700,000 shares traded, but I don't see anything big on either Mara or Coin. They're pretty quiet this morning. They had a great couple of days, especially Coin has some really clean action here this week. Mara as well, but I don't see anything going on right now. So we'll keep them to the side for the most part. We can always come back to them if things start to develop there. Before we continue to the gap up, down, Peter, anything you have gapping up that might not be on this list you want to cover?
Well, I mean, pretty much the whole chip sector. Pick your poison. Nvidia, AMD, of course, are my top favorites. They're not moving huge this morning, but they're all up. The whole sector's green. Everybody's up about 1% or so. Nice gap, and they're holding that. I especially like Nvidia, of course, as we sit here, right close to these high levels, all-time high levels. So hoping that we can break higher. We'll see. I mean, it's within shooting distance for this morning, but I don't know for sure, what's going to happen, but I just like the fact that the sector is gapping up. Yesterday, it was all about the earnings on Taiwan Semiconductor, which didn't trade all that well yesterday during the day, at least in my opinion. But you don't expect it to normally, right? It's usually a sort of a slow mover, but it held the gains. And as you can see, it sort of stuck out at that level. So it looks like TSM has found a new place to hang, which is above the $200 mark. So that is good for the sector overall. So I'll definitely be keeping my eye on these as I usually do, but even closer today.
Yeah, TSM, just looking at that one since you mentioned it, the gas movement today still got great volume, 1 million shares traded here, and it traded well yesterday. If you guys look at the action, normally the stock does not trade like this, but yesterday was their day. They did very good. And also, was it NVIDIA that traded horrible? Yeah, NVIDIA was just a messy type stock yesterday, up and down, up and down. So depending how you trade, look very messy, very wicky here. Got much better later in the day, this beautiful drop towards the close. But TSM at the market open really took the medal here. Traded very, very nice. All right, let's focus on what's gapping down this morning. CVS is on deck. Normally not a great trading stock, but we've seen this so many times. Earnings. Is it earnings, Peter? I'm just assuming. Is it? No, let me not assume. Is it earnings on this?
No. I don't think so, no.
Yeah, what is it?
They basically they have a new CEO, so they've replaced their CEO and lowered their forecast. Interesting decision. So the CEO Karen Lynch, they basically gave her the old boot and brought in David Joyner, who's an insider coming in to run the company. But they also at the same time then said, and our 2024 forecast, it's not going to happen. So it's not the best way to take the seat as a CEO, but they're clearly trying to tie the previous forecast to the previous CEO and bring in the new guy and say, the old Karen was crazy, and David's gonna set it right. But anyways, clearly the stock is saying, we don't care, man. You're still calling off your numbers, and we're taking you down. So so they've lost a month worth of work here, and the stock is gapping down. I've watched this so many times, and almost every time I've been disappointed. I think the problem was a number of years ago when I started trading, I had some great trades on CVS. So I keep thinking, it's going to do something nice. It'll be fun. And then it's never fun.
Yeah. It's a tough one. I'm gonna put them on my secondary. We saw Nike do the same thing, right? And their new CEO came in or was about to come in. They pulled their forecast as well, and that dropped the stock. Let's check how they're doing here. Here's what was the announcement: the old CEO is coming back. It gapped up. They love that, and then they pull their numbers or future forecasts, so this guy can kind of set it straight here and gap down. So Marcus just doesn't like that. But we'll see necessarily where that leaves with CVS. It's not a bad thing. It's just Marcus just doesn't like, doesn't like surprises. So CVS, I'm going to put it on a secondary here. Got great volume today. Like if they're going to trade well, today's their day, man. If they're going to do something, they have everything. They have the news. They have the volume. They're down 8.2. I want this, I want this on my main list, but I'm just, let's see. Let's see what's going to happen. Hopefully, it does not let us down like it has many times before. We'll see. We'll come back to it. All right, let's take a look, friends, on the list and the gap down. PHUN is down here, 5.2. What an ugly daily chart at the moment. But 374,000 shares traded. Hard to borrow on this. And if we move to the left, I mean, this was somewhat in play yesterday, but it also traded very similar to NVIDIA, just all over the place, up and down below the VWAP. Never really got going until about 1 or 2 o'clock. Gave you a nice little move here. And again, it's just the moves are so small. At least for me, you got to take a boatload of shares to get 20 cents to make it count, right? So I don't know. It's not my type of stock. I don't like this price action. I prefer stocks above $10, $20. So I won't be watching this one. Peter, do you like this at all today?
No, it's been on our list the last few days, right? And look how it keeps gapping, or it had been gapping all week. And then I don't know. I don't like the trading on it, and fun is not fun. So I don't expect it to be any more fun today. Fun.
We'll leave that alone. Let's take a look at AXP. AXP is the last one on here, and this is American Express, guys, and we are down 2.5 this morning with a very light volume, 321,000. Again, another one that doesn't trade. These credit and bank institutions they're just not good day trading stocks. But Peter, they're here this morning. What is the latest and greatest?
Earnings on American Express. They missed on revenue, beat bottom line. They did actually raise their guidance for the quarter, so generally, that's not that bad of a news. But yeah, they're gapping down this morning. Relatively low volume, not a surprise. Nicey stock, like you said, Carlos. They don't trade very well. Most of the credit companies, right? If you try and trade Visa, MasterCard, American Express, none of them trade very well. So had earnings, but not that interesting.
We don't like that one. And I think, that's it, guys. That's 1, 2, 3 on the gap down. That covers that. Peter, anything gapping down this morning on news or something that you're watching that you want to share with us today?
Yeah, 2 others I'll mention quickly. Procter & Gamble, PG. Procter & Gamble, similar story anyways to American Express. They missed revenue, beat bottom line earnings. They cited weakness in the markets in both the U.S. and China, and they didn't actually call off their guidance. They made no mention of their guidance, but they are gapping down a little bit this morning on pretty low volume, only 100,000 shares, gapping down about a 0.6%. So not much there. And then one of my old favorites, WD-40. WDFC is the ticker symbol on that one. And I still it doesn't trade well. There's nothing to trade here. It blows my mind that it's a $250 stock that's independent. I just don't understand that. But let me go on a quick rant here, because as I was looking up WD-40 just out of fun and interest, it reminded me why there are problems with journalistic integrity and just general quality control these days. Here was an article on WD-40. I was looking up their earnings, and I want to bring your attention to the full company year revenue was, the company's full year revenue guidance of $650 million at the midpoint also came in 10,817,941,853% above analyst estimates. Have some pride, man. If you're going to put out an article, surely it's an easy thing to check and say, somehow saying that they are 10.8 billion percent over estimates is just you can fix that. Like, come on, man. Like, so anyways, let this serve as a lesson to say, always double check your sources. Don't believe what you read. You've got to get multiple, pieces of data, because nobody seems to check anything anymore, man. Like, come on.
Was that written by like AI? Was that
working in a newsroom? They used to have
ChatGPT
fact
wrote that?
checkers, but they got rid of them. They laid them off pretty much. So nobody really fact checks. Nobody really edits anymore.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, AI wrote it. It wasn't fact check. Like, whatever the excuse is, just know, like, when you see something like this is an obvious one, so it's easy to point out. So clearly nobody read that. Like, I just saw the number and I'm like, come on, like, what is happening? That's absurd. But anyways, but the problem is, if you get numbers, like if it said that it was like, 10% off, I wouldn't have questioned it. But in fact, they said that they actually beat the numbers.
Right.
Anyways, that number was closer. This could happen in other contexts, and you would never know that the number's wrong. So we see this all the time. The fact, this is why it's difficult for me in the mornings, because I'm checking articles, and like, you can have completely contradictory earnings reports, for instance, that come out. That happens quite regularly. So so my angry old man statement for today is just be careful what you read. You can't trust anything. The world sucks. Get off my lawn. There you go.
Yeah, careful what you read, careful what you hear, man. I'm hearing. I love hearing the jokes when they use like Joe Biden and Trump and Harris, when they use their voices. They do funny stuff, obviously. Man, if you don't know any better, they sound so good. They sound just like them. So you just got to be so careful now with the stuff you hear and see, especially on the internet. It's just crazy. But there it is. There it is. Friends, let's get over to.
You're right, Carlos. I saw some memes where they were like, the AI created pictures of like Trump in a life jacket, like carrying tornado victims out of a flood and stuff, and it was just like, really, like, anyways, it's just funny how they'll like, like, as you said, nowadays with the tools out there, you can create video, you can create voice, photos were the easy part. You can't trust what you see anymore. You never know.
Yeah, it's getting wild. Friends, let's jump into what you guys like this morning. I'm looking at our chats here, both our members chat and also over on YouTube. Let's start with Apple. Apple's in play today. Let's take a look. Apple this morning. Oh yeah, definitely in play today. Look at this thing. Million shares traded. We are up almost 2%. So we'll be joining our gap up list in just a second here. Apple is just lovely right now. So we'll add that on there. Our all-time highs from 3 days ago, right? 3 days ago, that would have been Tuesday, I believe. Monday, I'm not sure. But here, on this day, the 15th, we definitely went up pretty nicely there, 237.47. Don't quote me, could be a little bit higher or lower. But looking to push higher this morning. Pre-market looks great on this thing. So really like what I see here. So we'll do some levels for that one, of course. And then let's take a look what else you guys like this morning. So thank you for that one. Someone mentioned another one that was in play. We're going to take a look at that. It was Tesla. I got to scroll up because our YouTube chat has been on fire. We've been chatting it up here. We've been going nuts in a good way. So I missed it. If you guys put something in chat, resend it again, because I know it was one I wanted to look at. And while you guys do that, we'll look at Tesla. Look at Tesla's daily, by the way. It's really building this range. It's just kind of stuck here. Hasn't really moved. Volume has dropped quite a bit, even lower than what we were trading before their event there with robots and cars. They had great volume. They were trading very well, but now it's just like, what's happened? So I don't know what was going on here. Peter, when that van pulled up, before the robots and cars event, when that van pulled up, I had flashback of like the iRobot movie when when it goes sideways and the robots start coming out and jumping out his Audi. I mean, that was. I'm like, is this thing going to turn sideways and robots are going to start coming out? That would have been really cool.
I mean, he called the whole event the We Robot. I mean, a definite take on that movie, which, you know, the book was sort of dystopian enough, I guess, from Asimov years and years ago. But and then the movie, took it to another level. But I don't. Who knows what's going to happen to all that? I saw an interview actually just this morning. I was watching an interview with Elon, and he was like, he anticipates the number of robots will outnumber humans significantly. I think he said within the next decade, and because he's like, well, who doesn't want a robot buddy? Everybody wants a robot buddy, and I'm thinking, I don't think I want a robot buddy. Like, I'll stick to like real human buddies. Like, humans are bad enough. I don't.
Yeah. If I'm getting one, is to do the chores around the house, mow my lawn and do the laundry. I'm not getting it to hang out at my dinner table. That's not happening. That's I don't need that. Get the packages.
I still find these robots creepy. That's that scene every time, man. It gets me. The scene of a robot watering the plants in the background. For some reason, that just freaks me out every single time I see it.
I need to cut this and put it on loop for you.
It's I don't know why that's so creepy to me, but for some reason, just that it feels very ominous. Just that robot hanging out in the background watering the plant. Like, I don't know why.
It's the future, man. It's the future, Peter. It's coming. Right. It's coming. You're gonna go see one of your grandkids. You're gonna go see one of your grandkids, and the robot's gonna open the door. Hey, Grandpa Peter, good to see you.
Yeah.
Look at Peter's face.
I'm not buying it, because I'm picturing the robot like I don't know. It's just what it said. No, you can't see the kids right now, and it'll just like beat the snot out of me or something. I don't know.
I'm with Megan. You know how many plants die a year because people don't water them properly? This is going to save that, Peter. This is a good thing. It's a good thing for nature and everything else.
Save the plants.
Let's look at the positives.
Buy a robot.
Save the plants, baby. That's right. Buy a robot. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm telling you, look, if they do become mainstream, Carlos, then look, if they do, then I'm going all in. In fact, I'm not even going to buy a car. I'm just going to buy some good all-weather gear, and I'm going to get the robot to carry me everywhere. I want a robot that can run at about 60 miles an hour, and I'm just going to have it carry me. It's just
absolutely. Don't let that bad boy trip. That won't be good.
Yeah, if that's what we're doing, then you bet. Like, I don't care. I'll just say, oh, fine. I'll spend my $30,000 on a robot and not on the car. And it's I'll get a piggyback or no. Actually, I don't want a piggyback. I want it to actually carry me in its arms everywhere. I will just put my arms around its neck, and it can just carry me everywhere like a giant child, like a baby. Yep,
I can see this already.
Yep. That's what I'm doing.
And walk your dog at the same time.
And water the plants. Yeah.
With far? That, friends.
Far?
The watering the plant. Yeah, far, but it's okay. We're getting there. Friends, let's go back to stocks. That is Tesla. We like Tesla. Doesn't look good today. The last couple of days has been weird on this range. But how can you not watch Tesla? I mean, at any point, it can give you some really amazing trading, even while it's stuck in this range. Pre-market looks very active today, a little less volume than what we're used to. I'm still going to put it on my secondary list and see where it goes from here. So Tesla is good. Thank you for mentioning that, guys. What else you guys have here? Looking at our YouTube chat and over on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. We really, really appreciate it. We are sitting. Let's see if this ad makes sense to me. There's my ad for YouTube today. It's about Purple Garden. I don't even know what that is. But anyways, we are sitting. Let's go. 142. So we'd love to get a little bit higher. We have 520 people watching. We'd love to get closer to 300 if we can. There you go, guys. Say hi in chat over to our YouTube friends. Say hello. But yeah, we love your support. It really helps the channel a lot. This is why we ask, friends. So thank you so much for that. All right, perfect. With that, let's take a look at some other stocks you guys are throwing out here. We looked at Apple, we looked at Tesla, ASML. We remember this from a few days ago, was in play. It is up 2% this morning, very light volume. It's not a great trading stock, even when it did this move here. you have to be really careful with the low volume. So I think the volume is going to continue to die down here. I'm not a big fan of it, so just be careful if you do want to watch this one. Also look out for the spread. The spread could be a little nasty at times, right? So be on the lookout for that. All right, friends, let's stop here. 9:10. Let's get to our community events and announcement for what's coming up next week. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and start doing some levels for the stocks we haven't played. We have Bob, we have Netflix, CVS, Apple. We still have not looked at NVIDIA or AMD. We'll look at those next and see if we can add those to our list. So Peter will take you to what's happening next week.
Okay. Just not to ignore our people on YouTube. I see you're mentioning Datadog and Donkey Kong. I did look them up. I don't see much going on with either one of those, but if you like them, they're all yours. Next week, we have a full slate of activity going on starting Monday with our onboarding classes. We've got Brendan doing the DAS setup at noon, and then our new members orientation happening at 8 o'clock. Those are for all members at any category of membership. So you can get into that. Those are happening in the onboarding room, and hopefully you will join us. Tuesday is our strategy webinar. Next Tuesday, Paris is going to be leading the session, talking about how you can master tape reading. He uses it heavily. If you haven't gone and seen his course, if you're interested in tape reading and you're an elite member, then definitely join this course. If you want more, I'm sure he'll mention it as well, but he's got an excellent course. One of the first ones we produced on tradingterminal.com in the academy there. It's a paid course. There's a fee for it, but it's well worth it. I think everybody that's taken it has agreed. It's fantastic sort of expert level course if you really want to go deep into mastering the tape. But next week we have a webinar he's going to be doing on that. That's at 8 o'clock on Tuesday. And then the week after, John will be taking over talking about all that we've learned from the thousands of people that have gone through the Peak Capital Trading Bootcamp. So that'll be a good session because it's good to learn from others. And we certainly have a good now, sort of book of lessons that we've taken out of all those that have joined the camp. So that should be a good session 2 weeks from Tuesday. Wednesday is Psychology Day. Randy Howell is going to be leading next week, talking about how to develop a patient trading mind. His sessions are always good, very insightful, and give you some food for thought. So that'll be at 8 o'clock next Wednesday. And the week after, we have, a new presenter, new for us, October the 30th, Change Your Brain, Change Your Game. I love the title. So that will be a great session that I'll look forward to, that one by Dr. Charland. So that should be a nice session. And then don't forget, on Wednesdays, we also do our Bookmap session. That's a technical session happening at noon with Nathan. So you can join in the webinar room for that on Wednesdays. And then Thursday, of course, we do our mentorship sessions. We did them all yesterday. We'll do them again next week. 4 sessions happen every Thursday, starting with John's session at 11 a.m. Then we go to Megan and Jared at 2 p.m. Then Lenny does his session at 4. And, of course, Thor does his Thursday mentorship session at 8 p.m. There you go. Now they're on the screen. So those are all the sessions that we do. So that's what's happening next week. Hopefully you'll put those in your calendar and you'll consider them. I'll remind you them as we come up to them each day. If you want a membership, you want to join us here, we do live trading all day. Peak Capital, at Bear Bull Traders, also Peak Capital with the bootcamp, but at Bear Bull Traders here. You can join with any one of these membership options. Don't forget, if you're a first timer, you can get the 1 week access. Now is a great time to do it. You can get your 1 week access starting right away. Be with us all day today through till next week for just $1. BearBullTraders.com/YouTube to take advantage of that offer. All right, Carlos, let's take a look at setting some levels and get going for this Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to take 2 more here from our YouTube chat. Amazon, no volume right now, so pretty quiet. So I won't be watching this at the moment. And then another one that was mentioned, I think by Joel here in our YouTube chat is CAT. So if we look at CAT, same thing, just no volume. So I was looking at this, not really in play. I see what you're looking at the daily for a possible breakout. Depending on your strategy, you need to wait for the market open and see what kind of volume you're going to get here. All right, excellent, friends. Let's take a look at our stocks. So Baba, one more we did not look at, NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, we have to add this to our list. Up 1.4, 5.1 million shares traded. It is in play. Pre-market looks very, very good this morning, looking to try to reach those highs again from yesterday. So let's see where that goes. All right. Taking a look at Baba this morning. Someone mentioned Neo in chat in our YouTube chat. So Sylvia, Neo is it's another Chinese tickers. They're basically taking over our gappers list. I have two on here, Baba and also PDD. Those are my two favorites of the Chinese stocks that are in play based on just the economic data that we've been getting over the last couple of weeks, about a month or so now. So pick your favorite. But Baba and PDD definitely much better. Neo's going to get the volume, but normally they don't trade very well, not very clean. I have the pre-market on Baba, friends. It's 105.32. The lowest sitting over at 102.11. You got tons of levels here surrounding the price action towards the bottom and the top. Highs and lows and previous day close as well. So you're all set, especially towards the bottom, plenty of support. Towards the top, in case we do break out of the pre-market high, we do have a nice, beautiful level here at 107.80, 107.80. We'll mark that down. They got a lot of touches here on the daily as well. So there you go. That is Baba. Gapping up with a bunch of other Chinese tickers this morning. I have that one and PDD on my secondary. Next is going to be Netflix. Netflix here are some really good news, doing very well this morning. Up 6.8, 505,000 shares traded. Not an easy stock to trade, but today they are in play for sure. So hoping we can get some good action out of this one. Hopefully we can get a good continuation and good volume. Spread will be a little bit wide on this one. That's okay. It's a $700 stock, so you can have a little spread here. This is fine. But yeah, in play this morning. Let's see if we can get some good opportunities. High of the pre-market 735. Just broke there, 735.75. And low of the pre-market 720.40. If we look towards the top here, is this all-time high-ish situation at the moment? It is. So we are breaking all-time highs this morning, guys. So there are. Go ahead, Peter.
Yep, just saying yes.
Peter. Oh, okay. All right. Yep. Didn't hear you. So yeah, all-time highs for Netflix today. So there's nothing above that level. That is looking very nice. And then towards the bottom, we do have highs and lows for the last two trading days, doing a really good job capturing all the main levels. And we do have another one right on here at 713.84. So I'm looking over. I see Andrew saying if we do get 500 likes today, he will give away a laptop. So that's a nice way to end the week on this Friday. So let's do that. Let's get to 500 likes. What are our likes right now? Friends, we're sitting at 213 with 589 people watching. We get to 500 and we will give that laptop away. So hit that thumbs up there. It really helps the channel and puts you into the drawing for a laptop giveaway on a Friday. I mean, what a way to go into the weekend. All right, let's go to CVS is next. Again, this stock is a hit or miss. I have it on my secondary here. On my main one, should be more of a secondary. Low of the pre-market 54.85 and towards the top. Previous day close at a bunch of levels up there. Don't really need to add anything. Looking at the daily, price action sitting right at a level, which is 59.28. So we're going to mark that down. That's a great one there. We have another one at 61.22. And then towards the bottom, a very clear one at 57.12. So plenty of levels in here. You can see those levels also flirting with the pre-market action this morning. It's all about, can we get some good movement at the market open out of CVS? They're in play today. There's no question. They're down 7%. They got the volume. Can they trade well this morning? Apple looking to hopefully hit their all-time highs again. 237.43 is a level there. High of the pre-market at the moment, 237 on the dot, and we're looking strong. 1.1 million shares traded right now. Towards the bottom, highs for the last two trading days, doing a great job. I don't think you need to add anything else on Apple this morning. We'll head right down to NVIDIA. NVIDIA also good volume, 5 million shares traded, and they're hopefully looking to push higher. High of the pre-market, 138.88, so we'll slam one there. And then towards the bottom, we're looking at 137.43. Bigger picture on the daily, we are surrounded by the highs and lows of the last two trading days, so don't really need to add anything else. I think you're set on these levels and our recent highs. I mean, these stocks, this market is just up and up and up. Let's take a look at the SPY here. We are just hanging here. I mean, we just been doing so well. All right, let's take a look at what our team is watching. That is our list for right now. 316. I'm going to refresh again. How many likes we have? I want to give this laptop away this Friday. That would be nice. So if Andrew could do that. 316. 500 guys would give that laptop away. So definitely continue to hit that number. That thumbs up. You know what? Let me help you. See this is what I do, and I know some of you guys do the same thing. You're watching a show, you're enjoying yourself, and you just forget to hit this little thing right there. And I just did. So follow me in that as well. Peter, have you hit the like button, Peter?
I have. You bet.
You Okay, you stuttered. I wasn't sure if you did or not. It was questionable.
No, yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm. That's one of the first things I do when I open it up. I make sure to click on the little button there and give her the old thumbs up. I got a thumbs up myself. I mean, if I'm not going to, why would I expect anyone else to?
Exactly. Friends, looks like Brent, check our YouTube chat, having some stuff there going on. So Brent will check on that, guys. Give me 1 second. Peter, take us through what our team is watching this morning.
All right. Well, we've got our moderators are all getting in with their lists and showing us what they are going to be trading today. Starting with very first person in this morning was Lenny, trading Apple, Netflix, Tesla, NVIDIA, D-Dog. Datadog, interesting, was mentioned on YouTube. He's picked it up and decided he's going to look at it. Freeport, McMoran, FCX, and then CVS. Thor is going to be watching the usual suspects with Apple, Tesla, NVIDIA, and of course the market indices through the futures contracts. Pierre is going to be watching NVIDIA, AMD, Google, Tesla, and SMCI. Phil's going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, Apple, Baba, TSM, and Netflix. Brendan's got Netflix, NVIDIA, AMD, and Tesla on his list. Andrew, here early again. I got to give Andrew some kudos, man. Since he's been back, he's a new man. He's here not only on time, but early, and I'll give him credit for that because I deeply appreciate it that he's here. Netflix, Apple, NVIDIA, AMD, and Tesla on his list, of course. Megan's going to be watching Netflix, Tesla, and CVS. I've got the usual suspects with AMD, Tesla, and NVIDIA on my list, and as a secondary, I'll watch Netflix to see if it does anything. CVS, same reason, and of course, Apple at and near these all-time highs. Jared's going to be watching Netflix and Drug. He thinks maybe Drug is going to be back in play. We'll see. Secondary list, SOBR, the low float of the morning, and of course, Tesla. Oddly, there's no IPOs or SPACs today. Normally, Friday's a good day for them, but we are not seeing any going on today. So I'll let you know if that changes. And then Avi's going to be watching Meta, Apple, and NVIDIA. Paris, NVIDIA, Tesla, CVS, Baba, and Apple. And I was going to say last but not least, but he's neither last nor least. Brian is going to be watching. Love is the drug he's thinking of. So there you go. Another classic song quote from Brian. And being that Drug is a Vancouver company, I would think that he'd be watching it. But anyways, he's going to be keeping a close eye on NVIDIA. Although I assume that's what he means. He has NDVA, but I assume he means NVDA. Apple and Uber. And Andrew's also going to put an eye on the Drug, the Vancouverites, right? They got to support local. And Susan's going to be watching Baba and AI, and Eamon in here with Amazon and Uber for potential longs. So there you go. That's what our moderators are watching. So we head into this last day of this trading week, mid-month here in October, and hopefully we're going to have a good one. I want everybody to trade smart. Carlos, what do you remind everybody on Fridays?
Friends, reminder on Fridays to trade well, be disciplined, follow your rules. It sucks being on Saturday morning thinking about you not being disciplined as a trader. So make sure you do that today. Today's not the day to be a hero. Trade safe. Have a great weekend. And we'll be in chat. 425 likes so far, my friends. We're almost there. 75 for a laptop giveaway. And just going to do that after the market open. Market open in 3 minutes. Peter, feel better, man. Thanks for pushing through this week. Appreciate you.
I'm not sure if you're living in the future. I think the market opens in about 7 minutes, but
what did I say? 7?
You said 3. But anyway,
I said 7 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Maybe
I'm going to just take this moment to restart Firefox. Seems like it's still not working. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So chat, our BBT chat will lose audio for just a second. We'll be right back.
Right back.
Brent, go for it, man. All right. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Andrew. It looks like you had the same fashion consultant I did this morning. So, love your wardrobe choice.
Good morning. Yeah. So our fashion consultant sent their wife beaters, huh?
White t-shirt. That's what we needed to do.
Wife
today,
beaters.
so.
Yeah. You know what wife beater is, Peter? Huh? These white t-shirts.
Yeah,
that's call them
not. I know, but I have sleeves, so that's not what I'm wearing.
All right, guys. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, guys. Yesterday I was really sick, and They had a really bad night episode the night before. So I was feeling a little bit sick. Let me tell you a story. It's actually funny. I was a little bit feeling a little bit sick. Like I was feeling my breathing is really going down. I don't know why I called 911. It's like, what's your emergency? So, my breathing is really bad. Like I think I'm having a heart attack. Okay, well, how do you feel? And I said, okay, this, and this, and this. They said, okay, let me connect you to an ambulance. And then I thought, this is not really an emergency, is it? She said, no, well, stay in the line. And then she was connecting me to someone else. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. Why am I doing this? So I actually hung up. I said, why? This is not an emergency. So I was sleeping. And then half an hour later, in my house, 2 people woke me up. Sir, are you okay? And I said, well, what are you doing here? They were from ambulance. He said, well, you called 911. So how did you get in? He said, well, concierge let us in. Are you okay? And I said, no, I'm okay. And then they put a laptop on me and my bed. And then said, okay, sign here if you're okay. Like I was signing here. I was bed. They came like 2 a.m. at my apartment just because I called 911. That was a really funny story.
Wow.
But that's
misusing our healthcare services here in Canada. Come on, man.
I know. I'm waiting for the bill to send me then. That was really funny, though.
All right, Brian, welcome to the club.
Yeah,
I see you made a wardrobe change.
Carlos is odd man out here.
Yeah, which one is different?
I didn't get the memo.
Oh, you didn't get the memo that you have to make your wife? You didn't get that?
No, I did not get that memo.
All right. It's a white t-shirt day. All right. Come on. There's
awesome.
Got to be some likes for that, right? Yeah, white t-shirt.
Guys, let's get back into character. A few minutes to the open. Let's get back into character.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks. Trade smart, everybody. Enjoy.
Yeah, trade is smart. This drug, I never actually traded that like a few days ago when it was active. Is it trading nicely, Brian? Did you trade that?
I kind of, it had a nice move up there, but I guess you could have scalped it. But it did make a new high, apparently. I don't think it's true. I was reluctant to trade second time around. I think they've become less predictable. What was the stock yesterday? What was the ticker yesterday that everybody was trading? Had like 500,000 share float.
NIX, NIXX.
That's what it was. Yeah. Maybe we'll invest in that for another couple days. Next week sometime it'll take off. Wow, did it ever sell off? Oh my God. It went right back to where it started.
Sorry, Brian.
250.
To interrupt, could you show your chart in chat? Your book
map? Oh, yeah. Yep. Sorry. I need a checklist, like a pilot checklist in the morning. Lights on.
That's right.
Yeah.
You don't check those flaps, you have a problem on takeoff.
Exactly. Yeah. Fuel pumps on. Lights on. So here we go. This I've got NVIDIA up right now. You can see some big orders at 140, 141. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla, I am probably going to stay away from today. If you look at the daily, it's really been range bound. I don't know if it actually breaks out of a range, it'll actually be, it actually might move pretty well, but it's been pretty range bound in the last 4 trading days. So Tesla does have some orders here.
Andrew's got to be really careful in the winter because with the dark out there, it's basically like you got a big mirror behind you. We can see everything.
Yeah.
You're on mute there, Andrew.
There's things going on. And Andrew's looking for another office downtown.
I just wanted to say, Andrew, I've been blaming drug on you because I think you're still on mute. Because you know what this company drug? It's a Vancouver-based company called Bright Minds that they're trying to turn psychedelic drugs into pain medication.
Really?
It feels like something you'd be part of.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Anything drug, I'm good.
And they're refining LSD into a pain medication. No. Anyways, less than a minute. I'll let you guys trade the open. Have fun.
Class 3
Andrew,
drug.
if you could share your
Netflix.
screen, the room would like that in the. Oh, you got it. You got it. Okay.
Yeah, guys. So screen sharing. So I have this screen sharing. Oh, shit. So you guys in the chat room can see my screen sharing. NVIDIA is doing some weird stuff.
Yeah, we had a big drop a couple of minutes ago. I don't know what the heck that was.
There's a lot of volume on NVIDIA. Is there news? There's a lot of volume on NVIDIA.
No, there was a lot of volume that came in on a lot of stuff here.
Oh yeah, so it's everything. QZO. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we're open.
All right. Let's see, guys.
Let's
Netflix.
See what's going on.
What's Netflix up to?
NVIDIA.
Oh, Netflix is good volume too.
Where are you? Here we are. NVIDIA is selling a bit here.
No, Netflix, Apple. What's Apple doing?
Apple dropped quite a bit here. Apple's outside the camera pivots. Tesla came back up.
Netflix, let's see, NVIDIA is now below the VWAP. If it comes above the VWAP, I take it long at 138.40. Netflix, it looks like a 1 minute opening range breakup now. Right, I'll wait a little bit. Drug got halted, huh? Shit, drug is going to go to 40.
Yeah. That didn't take long.
So you're long drug?
No. I'm I'm looking at Netflix. Netflix looks like could be interesting.
So LSD for pain, huh? Maybe we should take some acid, huh?
Maybe, yeah. They were experimenting with it for different mental conditions, PTSD, I should say. Tesla's actually looking like it might break out, but it's still range bound. AMD really took a tumble.
Oh, let's hit the scanner. I'm looking at NVIDIA. If above VWAP, I might take long.
Yeah, NVIDIA's coming back up here. Qs and SPY kind of bouncing back. Wow, AMD went red. Crazy.
It went red, huh?
Yeah.
Netflix is kind of weird, Netflix.
Yeah, I was looking at the options. The spread on them is not great for trading.
All right, I'm going to get a long on NVIDIA at 138.27. Even though we haven't got to the VWAP yet, I'm adding a little bit more on it. Let's see if I put below 137.80. Above 138.70, I might add more on it.
Yeah.
So on NVIDIA,
I'm long NVIDIA with you here. See what it does.
It hasn't got the VWAP yet. I think I jumped in a little bit too early, but it doesn't. Yeah, now it's coming above the VWAP. If it closes above the VWAP, I might add heavy on it for it.
It's a huge amount of orders up in the 139, 140 range.
Same pattern is happening on Apple. I think very similar pattern.
Bullish.
We need to close above the volume weighted average price, and Netflix is
Here we go. Come on. NVIDIA. Meta kind of looks interesting. Yeah, look at Tesla. Tesla, stay away from Tesla. Tesla is still range bound, and I don't think it's just don't think it's going to give you a nice move unless it breaks out of this range it's in.
It's kind of flat too, so he hasn't really gapping up or down.
No, look at the daily. It's just been in a range around trading around 220, plus or minus $1 or $1.50.
All right, let's see if NVIDIA survive NVIDIA or not. I'm actually getting out of NVIDIA.
You know what? I'm too, because I don't like the way it's spending too much time here.
Yeah, I got to stop that on NVIDIA. I might get back in there if it closes above the VWAP. It was a little bit too immature. Netflix looks like it wants to break out. No 5-minute closes as a doji red candle. It comes like a engulfing. I'm going to go long Netflix, 746.67, small size. Let's see. Netflix can go for 750. Yeah, I'm long Netflix at 747. Let's see if we can break the high of the day. I'm adding more, 750. Shit, I got a partial feel on that.
Drug to reopen in 10 seconds. If anybody's in drug.
If anyone's on drugs.
I'm on drug. Is that okay? All right, guys. I have a big size on the Netflix now. Let's see if we can get to 750 above. Partialing out on Netflix, 750, 60. Drug is... Yeah, I have a big size on Netflix. Partialing out now, 751. I have 3,000 shares on Netflix now. I got a partial feel actually as on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm back on it. It's
NVIDIA, huh?
3850. Yeah,
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back on Netflix too now. Netflix is gonna go for the breakup of. Sorry, and NVIDIA. I'm back on NVIDIA. Let's see if we can break off all pre-market high of around 139.
Pre-market high.
Partialing out on Netflix, guys.
Keeping an eye on Meta too. It's might be see what it does. Guys. See if it breaks out. Netflix or Nvidia's not
behaving, so to speak.
Doesn't have the volume to push. I'm getting out of it again. 2 small losses on NVIDIA. R4.
Netflix is at R4. I'm still long on Netflix. Let's see if Netflix can go to 753. We did touch 753, yes. I'm still long on Netflix, unfortunately. Sorry, on NVIDIA, because I get back in there. Let's see what that happens. Definitely not great. SPY. It's green. The Qs are green. Netflix. Should I add on Netflix a little bit? I'm not sure. Netflix is at all-time high, huh? Up 10%.
Yeah, this is all-time. Yeah, it is all-time high. Yeah.
What a crazy move on Netflix. Like, I can't believe 2 years ago, Bill Ackman sold everything and said this company is all done. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Garbage content.
Apple's selling off quite a bit here.
All right, so I have a little bit of Netflix. My average on Netflix is 747. So see if when they stop me out. All right, I'm gonna get stopped out on NVIDIA, guys, for the second time as well.
Yeah, I didn't like the way that traded.
I'm sorry.
Bless you.
What's Tesla doing? Yeah. Garbage.
I told you, stay away from Tesla. It's like range bound on a daily, and it's just not. It's just gonna. It just seems like it's heading into like chop again. What are we doing with the Qs and the SPY? They already sold off. Now they're coming back up.
Still in Netflix. I don't know. Should I add Brian, or should I? So it did a very nice ABCD pattern, 5-minute opening range breakup. But the problem is, I don't know if Microsoft is.
I don't know. Netflix came up to R4. So that's basically where it stopped going up.
Something about the VWAP.
So I don't know. You know, these stocks can keep going, right? In strong stocks.
Yeah. I'm going to add a little bit more on Netflix here, 751. I'm going to get back long on NVIDIA now, guys. I'm going to get back long on NVIDIA, 138.40. This is the third trade on NVIDIA. I think it's going to work. I hope it's going to work. SPY's coming. Let's see if Netflix breaks another high of the day. If not, my average on Netflix is at 748, I guess. That seems like out of steam. See if NVIDIA can super choppy, super crazy.
Yeah.
Tesla is at flat, previous day close. Yeah, Tesla's the daily range is super narrow. When you look at the daily chart on Tesla, it's horrible. Super narrow. Taiwan Semiconductor, nothing. Drug is doing nothing.
Market's going skew. SPY.
Nothing. DDOG doing nothing.
Yeah, this isn't much of a trading day so far. We're kind of all stuck in a range.
AMD. Yeah, I didn't look at it. AMD is kind of disgusting.
We'll put in a double bottom, and now it went up to the 9. It's rejecting it, the 9 EMA. It might break higher. See what the Qs do here in the SPY. It's bounced back. Now we're pulling back again. Yeah, it's pretty pretty ugly day so far.
MSTR is hitting the scanner. Oh, MSTR is moving up nicely. Wow. Is the Bitcoin going up?
I think Bitcoin was up again today. Bitcoin's been really erratic. Russell dipped into the red there and came back up.
IWM? Wow. Yeah, IWM been ridden back up, huh? So it's super toppy, but I don't want to short it. But let's see if we can get another break of high of the day. Yeah, I'm still long on NVIDIA. It looks like NVIDIA is hovering around volume weighted average price. Let's see if we can get another breakout. It doesn't look like it wants to go down. All right, so Netflix. Let's see if we get another. Yeah, SPY went above the View app. Is it the all-time high is at 586 on SPY, huh?
Yeah.
On all-time high. One more time. Let's go for Netflix for the break of high today. One more time. Netflix. Yes, yet another high of the day for Netflix. Yes, 745. Yes, I'm partialing out now. Nice. Yes. Yes, 755. This is a very nice pattern. ABC pattern, 5-minute open range breakup. You see very clean pattern. This were stocks in the high of the day, in the all-time high. That has very nice fundamental catalyst. These are really, really good.
Yeah. I'm
very
long
nice.
A bit in Netflix. I'm long Netflix.
Yeah, anyone took Netflix, guys? It's very, very classic and nice. Aaron, I know you took it. Oh, that's MSTR, huh?
Yeah, I just sold some.
756, partialing out more.
I sold some 756.
Nice. Nice, guys. In YouTube, you can actually see my screen live on chat. So if you are in the chat room, you can actually see my screen. You can't do it on YouTube, unfortunately, but you can actually see it. Nice. Netflix was a very, very nice pattern. Very super nice. NVIDIA, yeah, I think I'm going to take another probably loss on NVIDIA, unfortunately.
It's not trading well.
Yeah, daily chart on NVIDIA.
I'm short Meta. At 582.50. Here we go. See if we can get to 757 on Netflix. I looked at the options. Unfortunately, the options were the spread on the options on Netflix. Yeah, well, they're not expensive. Not so much expensive. The spread is terrible. There goes OKLO. Oakley Dokley.
OKLO is keep killing a scanner, but yeah, nice. PCT is hitting the scanner. PCT is the ticker? I thought it's P Capital. Oh, PCT is up 12%. All right, guys, I'm going to get a stop out on this piece of shit, NVDA. This was my second trade. The third trade, I got to stop out, guys.
I'm just I'm covering some Meta 580. Oh, we just dropped through 581. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Guys, I got to stop out on NVIDIA at 137.75. I lost everything today. How do I pay for Lamborghini with this?
Yes.
VTech. Wow. Jared is trading VTech, which is a penny stock. Since when Jared is trading penny stocks?
We've got to get him out of his natural habitat. It's trading these penny stocks.
Since Jared has become single, he's unhinged. Trading penny stocks. We got to find a wife for Jared again, girlfriend.
He's on a penny stock binge.
I know. He's a man now.
Some drink their problems away. Others trade penny stocks.
Oh, it's halted. Yeah, it's halted.
What's drug doing?
Drug really pulled back. Wow. Yeah, they're not as predictable after they've had one big run. Not to say they still aren't tradable, but not for this cowboy. Ooh, Uber really took a nosedive right at the open. So with Meta, I'm looking for like an R4 to maybe an S3 if we can get down to 5. I don't think we're going to get to 575. I'd be surprised.
But so you Meta short from R4 to R3, huh?
Yeah.
Right, so I had a good day, but I'm still in the red because NVIDIA loss, unfortunately, was big.
Good Meta. Good Meta. Come on, baby. Drop some more.
Tesla doing nothing. Apple.
I told you. I told you, stay away from Tesla. It's stuck in a daily range, and it's until it breaks out of that.
And it's such a narrow range. Look at the last from October 11 to 18. A disgusting narrow range. Do something, Elon Musk.
Trash market this morning. See, John's not happy.
John is not happy, no.
No.
VTech is still...
Yeah, I agree, Megan. I think when Tesla does break out of this range, it'll be... What is it? The longer the base, the higher the lower the...
Oh, shit. VTech is off the halt. Such a wild move. What's your average, Jared? Selling some Oh shit! Might go for 2. What's the news on
Is it going to get?
It's going to get halted again. Yeah.
Yeah, it got halted. Here we go. Yeah, second. This is the third halt. So I always feel like the third halt is you're getting into danger zone. Meta's coming back up. Meta's kind of trading with in the market.
All right, I'm gonna get another long on NVDA. You know, I am
I can't
a stupid person. The NVDA. I'm gonna get another long 138.10. I know it's a mistake, but it's past popping up. This time I think it's gonna go up. This is a fourth trade. I really shouldn't have taken that trade, but 138.10. I'm still long on Netflix. Oh, drug is also popping up again. Getting out of more of my Netflix at 7:54. Yeah, this freaking drug. So you said it's acid for pain, LSD for pain?
Well, it's it's some kind of they're doing some kind of drug thing. Psychedelics for pain. I don't know how that works, but okay.
Thanks, Mokhtar. I actually, send it. I noticed that as well. So I actually send it to the developers. We are doing some change in trading terminal from the data point. So we are switching to a much, much better data provider, Polygon. So I think this might be part of that transition. Okay, so NVIDIA, let's see if this time is going to go up. I'm out mostly on Netflix because I think Netflix is kind of toppy. What's Q's are doing? Q's coming above the VWAP.
Yeah, Q's are really choppy too. SPY's really choppy. AMD's doing a 920.
SPY 583.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is like a holiday. This is like a holiday Friday going into a long weekend. It's kind of trading like that. C A B C L. You know what? I'm gonna buy some of that.
Wow. Like, that's great. Like, this drug is great. Like, acid is one of my favorite drugs. I think the Nazis were, I think it came up from Switzerland back in 1942. I think these German Nazis were making it for some sort of weapons or something like that. That accidentally they created that drug.
Yeah, I don't think that. Well, I think it was created in the U.S.
No, in 1943, I think it created in Switzerland. Like,
okay. I know the U.S. Army was experimenting with it and that's how it ended up going mainstream in the U.S.
I could be mistaken, but I'm 99% sure that it came first time in Switzerland in 1943.
So I'm just looking this up now. His name was Albert Hofmann, and he was a Swiss chemist known for being the first to synthesize, ingest, and learn of the psychedelic effects of LSD.
Yeah, I think it's Hofmann in, I think it was 1938, 40. And then he tried it himself on himself for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, David, I'm coming. I'm coming to Switzerland. Speaking of acid, I'm coming. I swear to God, these Nazis were working on something that they accidentally create this one. And then the story is very nice. Like Timothy Leary, which was a Harvard psychologist, which was a big advocate of that in the 60s and 70s, Brian, when you were talking about it. And
Yeah.
the U.S. government really hunt him down. I think he got arrested in Mexico or in Egypt or somewhere. So he had to, run away from U.S. because he was a big advocate of acid. He was a Harvard psychologist. Eventually, U.S. government really tracked him down. Right. So I told you that don't do this on NVDA. This is what could be a fourth loss on NVDA.
Looks like Meta might be going back up, so I'm going to get stopped out of the rest of this trade.
I am still long on this NVDA. It's a big mistake of my life.
I'm out of the rest of this Meta trade. Didn't and the Qs are starting to move up here, so let's see what the Qs do. Apple's moving up.
How's life, Brian? Let's see.
Okay. Good. Should consider flipping my position here on could we go back to 583?
Yeah, I'm in NVIDIA. I'm also negative on it. I'm red for the day, thanks to NVIDIA.
I had 2 red trades on NVIDIA, but kind of made some back from Meta.
Why, Baba? Honestly, I don't see anything in Baba. Baba is giving looks like some sort of a double bottom, but I'm not really sure if I want to take that trade. It's up 2%. It's not too extended. Yeah, I don't know, Shada. I'm not really a big fan of Baba now.
I always found Baba hard to trade.
Netflix was super nice. Like I should have. Yeah, Netflix was a very nice trade. I'm still long on Netflix. My average is at 748. So let's see when does it stop me out. I'm still long on NVIDIA too. I have a chance to get out of this trade at the break even, but let's see if it comes above the VWAP. Sometimes when you get into just the range bound, it's really not tradable. PLTR, somebody's mentioned PLTR in the chat. 42. Yeah, PLTR looks like a cleaner.
I'm short AMD a little bit. Short AMD. Looking at that Bookmap, it's got an order at 156. But AMD is in a tricky spot right now. It's just hovering right around PDC.
SMCI. Wow, SMCI is interesting. Why am I not trading SMCI? Oh, okay, NVIDIA is going up, guys. I think we might have something with NVIDIA now. I'm gonna add a little bit more on NVIDIA here, 138.29. Let's see if I can get out of this freaking trade with some profit. Oh, 138.50. I'm gonna actually partial out some. See, now it's kind of so 138.10. Let's get 40 cents in it. Come on. I need that NVDA. I need to pay for the Lambo. My end of the month is coming. Mike is trading Amazon.
Hmm.
I know something is cooking in the market. These crypto companies are going up. Something I think is cooking in the market.
Yeah. Well, you've got the election coming up. I think we're going to get a lot more volatility.
Did you guys vote? Go vote. Americans, please go vote. I don't know who, but vote. We want volatility. The more vote is better for the volatility. Canada also has election.
Yeah, well, we've got an election in this province. Did you have to vote here?
Something is cooking in the market. I think something is cooking. I don't know what exactly, but there is some weird moves is happening in the market. Crypto might break out. What's the all-time high? Crypto is still 72, 3,000? 74, 75,000. Drugs is cooking. Something is cooking, huh?
Well, VTAC fell back there. Something feels like we're going to make a move one way or another here. Feels like the Qs want to break out. The SPY wants to break out, maybe higher.
ROG is
still looking at that.
Everything is moving except this freaking long. Come on.
No, nothing. Yeah, okay. And if to get stopped out AMD here.
Right, so NVIDIA 138.50. Come on, the big ask at 138.50. Show it yourself. R3. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
I knew it. The Qs and SPY were getting ready to break out there.
Getting out more on Netflix, guys. I still have Netflix. NVIDIA. If NVIDIA goes to 138, 139, I'm going to take acid. Come on. Live on YouTube.
How we doing? How we doing for likes on YouTube, by the way?
Unfortunately, people are not friendly on likes.
They're not in a good mood today.
Not really in a good mood today.
530.
Oh, okay.
530. Guys, if you want to actually be part of the laptop, you have to like, because the software get the people who are liking. So those of you who are not liking, you're not getting a laptop. Oh shit, Netflix. Damn it. Wow, Netflix. I'm getting partially out more on Netflix. Wow. What a great trade on Netflix. Did anyone took the Netflix in the chat room?
$70.
Lenny, you took it? Nice, Erin. Yeah, it was kind of a nice trade.
Okay, hello.
What's Tesla doing? Piece of garbage, Tesla. Oh, disgusting. Somebody funny. Somebody canceled their BBT membership, and he said, "You guys talk about mushrooms too much." He was anti-mushroom.
Mushrooms. The planet wouldn't exist without mushrooms.
I think it's good. They goes really well in omelets, and there are good foods in there. I don't know
Yeah.
why he was not liking mushrooms. All right, so imagine omelets without mushroom. Like, it's just not fun. Pizza, exactly, Trader G. Then pizza's going really well.
Just
Coin is hitting a scanner. Oh no, the whole crypto is moving, huh? Coin, Mara, MSTR.
this market is just amazing. It's just amazing. Just keeps going up.
No political comments, please, guys. No political comments. Please. I don't want to mute anybody. No
Yeah,
political
I'll have to
comments.
keep- yeah. we will have to remove you from the room if you're making political comments.
Yeah, please. You know how sensitive is political comments. Please don't. Please.
Yeah, we're
Talk
all
about
here
mushroom.
to trade. Yes, we talk about mushrooms.
Um,
Talk about your stocks.
760 Netflix. I still have 400 shares of Netflix. Bonds, why the bonds were selling off yesterday? Like really setting up really bad. TLT was selling off yesterday.
Well, TLT was. I think TLT was up yesterday, wasn't it? I think
No, it was down 1%. Yeah.
was it down? No, okay. So I was thinking Wednesday it really popped back up. I think there's a real concern in the bond market, treasuries, that the is going to come back with continued spending in the U.S. Deficit spending.
I think we have to give away the laptop today. It seems that we got to give away laptop.
AMD's still going to go to this 156.
If whoever wins the laptop, they need to send us a video. We love those videos.
I know. Yeah, you got to give us some laptop, guys.
That's one of the
Anika, would you?
stipulations.
Yeah, Anika, if we give it to you, would you send it? Omid, what about you? One of our traders, he was in UK. He sent a really nice video. That was really fun. Who was it? He sent a really nice. He sent a documentary about like taking a bus, going to London.
That's awesome.
It was really fun watching it.
Yeah, it was like a 10-minute video.
So it's funny. I was out last night. I went to yoga. Stopped by grocery store, and I met one of our traders at a grocery store. So there you go.
Very good. Oh, Louis Baldwin. Yeah, Louis Baldwin was. Louis Baldwin.
Look at that. AMD. It's always such an erratic mover.
Kind of kind of bit. I'm getting out of guys. Fourth trade on Nvidia. I gotta stop out at 137, 138. This Nvidia is not unfortunately tradable, but you never know until you get chopped up on it. Today I am nothing really doing anything.
Why?
Should have added on Netflix. 760 on Netflix.
There we go.
Yeah, drug. What do you think about drug? Drug was what is it trading at now? 50. But honestly, I can't trade this kind of. Look at the move on that. Like each candlestick in 1 minute from 47 to 45, $2 move is like a 5% move in each candlestick. It's not tradable, like to me. Like the pattern is super difficult and constantly getting halted. If I want to trade this, I would have gone, very couple of hundred shares just for fun. But it's not really something that I want to take a big position, and it is just not tradable. Super volatile. You need a little bit of a more stability in the price action and the pattern, so you can actually manage your risk. The problem is trading is not about entering; it's also about exiting. So it's just not tradable for me.
Yeah, too erratic.
Acid, I told you if NVIDIA hits 139, I'm going to take acid. Like I have some acid that is microdose. so you can actually do some like microdose in there. It's very, very light, but it gives a really good feeling. Like mood is really good for the mood, actually. Super good for the mood. Like when I do acid, like it's really, my mood is really good because ego dissolution. I don't know if you guys know about ego dissolution, but I'm sure. So you actually dissolve the ego to some extent, and then when you don't have the ego, like for example, you see things a little bit more clearly. Ego protects you, so you kind of need the ego for life to protect you from everything, but to small quantities, it gives you a little bit of a better consciousness. You see
ego
good in
death.
people. Ego death. Is it the ego death? I was looking at it.
Yeah, like ego death is when your ego completely dissolves, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're just one with everything.
In the higher doses, like of course, like acid doesn't have really. I actually put the Wikipedia in there, so acid doesn't really have overdosed in that extent. But the more you take, the more your consciousness changing is. Yeah, I put it actually in chat.
I don't know about not overdosing on acid.
No, I don't think like you have to take a lot. Like what's the overdose on caffeine? Like it's something like that.
Yeah, I don't think you can on LSD.
Like you have to take like a lot. Like you have to like 5 liters of acid. Like caffeine also, I don't think it has overdose. It's a psychoactive material. I don't think it has that much.
If you have too much caffeine, it can cause like palpitations and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it can. Caffeine.
I think I know. Like there was a podcast on Michael Pollan came on Joe Rogan. They're talking about it. Like for mushroom, for example, like they try to kill an elephant with mushroom, and I think they gave like 25 kilogram of mushroom to the elephant, and then the elephant really kind of passed out. Like it's a
Drug.
horrible experiment. Can you believe that?
Drug
Like they
about
did
to
that on
reopen.
who?
Drug. It's just reopening.
Oh, drug is opening.
Well, I know I've taken too many mushrooms.
All right, let's not talk about the overdose, guys. Let's talk about good stuff in life. See, guys, you can't trade that drug. Look at that, 48.62 dropping. The spread is 50 cents. The spread is not the problem. It's just
Well, we tried to break out there. We did a bit of volume on the Qs and the SPY, but no bueno. No bueno, as they say.
I'm at Netflix 770 possible. Netflix is just grinding up. Netflix is grinding up. Guys, we're gonna do the laptops. 700 likes and that's it. We're gonna give the laptops 14 more likes, guys. We're gonna give the laptop at 10:30. Because we talk about drugs too much.
Yeah. Jared's analyzing drug now. Supply zone. Wow, it hit 50. It's funny how these some of these just take off and others don't. People love the story. Look at that. Unbelievable. Did they have news? They put out some news or something?
Jung, Jung, are you the Jung in Alaska or you're a different Jung?
Different.
Thanks for watching, Tom. Sorry, we talk about sometimes joke about.
Okay. Well, they had this morning. They had no, that was this morning. They announced they had 35 million non-brokered private placement.
Who did that?
This is drug. That's why they're trading up again today. 35 million private placement. I wonder how many shares. What did they
Sorry, drug is doing that? Drug is doing that?
That was an announcement this morning. Priced at $21.70. So you can figure out how many shares. Yeah, Meta, damn. Shouldn't have gotten out of it. Look at that. Bloody hell. It is going to do R3 to S3, or R4 to S4, or S3, I should say. Blah.
Mr. President, should we take another NVIDIA long or no? We should stay away from this garbage.
I'm 2 times was enough for me.
Is there overdose on NVIDIA?
Yeah, it feels like this market isn't doing much right now. Like, look at Apple, AMD; they're all just They're all just chopping.
We should have traded SMCI instead.
TSM's pulling back a bit today.
Is there any news coming? No, I don't think there's any news today. And Friday is coming.
No.
Bank of Canada interest rates is next week. I think they're gonna chicken out 0.5% drop. Canada is broke, guys. Broke. You have no idea how broke we are. Our inflation come at 1.6%, like lower than the target of Bank of Canada. Like you go to restaurants, they gotta bring the rate lower. All of my friends are broke. Come on, lower the rates. Bank of Canada is gonna reduce 0.5%. They're chickening out. I know. US economy is great. Like look at the market. Like all these companies are profit, high profit. Economy this US has, man. No, IG, my friends are all broke. Like it's funny. Like I wanted to see one of my friends. I said, "Oh, I'll come to pick you up." He said, "No, I'll come downtown." I said, "No. I bought a Lambo. I need destinations to drive with it. Like, I need to come to pick you up and drop you. Like, my car is always in the parking. Anyone needs a ride? Here, Brett, do you want a ride? I can go pick you up. I got a car. I need destinations to drive.
You need some place to go.
Yeah, it's always I work from home.
Are you going to take it up to Whistler?
I think so. I have to. Like,
yeah, I think you should.
Are you guys okay?
You should do that.
Yeah, good. I think so, John. I was thinking of actually doing Uber. I was thinking of doing Uber and then have these cameras. It would be funny to get that. Yeah, pick up anyone's from school. Like I'm there. That was such a bad idea, guys. Such a waste of money, and don't do it, guys.
Oh, beauty.
Yes, today, after we give the laptop, Megan wants to talk about recognizing and managing burnouts. And this is very important. I think burnouts are one of the super most important things that as a trader you have to recognize, because we see in the funded account, I see a lot of traders. The trader number 10, he was going up crazy, and then boom, he dropped really, really bad because I think he was just burning out. After a couple of actually big tradings, it makes it worse and worse and worse and worse. So Megan, it comes from experience, and Megan has blown up accounts, I know, in the past. So from the experience, she wants to talk about, recognizing when you're actually burned out in the trading. So very, very, very important after we give the laptop.
We do have 757 legs. Let me refresh.
Then I'm the man of my word. I'm going to give the laptops.
763 likes.
There you go. I told you I'm going to do.
There you go.
And I'm going to do it. John, let's do that. John, come to Vancouver. Let's do the. I don't know if they actually accept Lambo as an Uber. I know Uber is having some requirements for the car, like signing up for the Lambo, and we create contents. It would be really fun to do that. Plus, I need the money. Really, it's expensive. What is the? How do we
I
do
think it's well, maybe it wouldn't. I think it's hard to get somebody. It's hard to get a Uber license
to get a
or
license for
whatever.
Uber?
Yeah, I know somebody that did it, and they had to do like the test like 5 times.
Really? Wow.
But yeah, but I think he was like maybe they don't like Caucasian guys. So you could actually, yeah.
It's a racist comment. I don't know.
Yeah.
But guys, I'm so regretting buying that Lambo. I so regret doing that. That's such a financially stupid decision, especially for Vancouver, especially for me that I don't need a car.
You know what they call that? Buyer's remorse.
Really? They do? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's called buyer's remorse.
All right, guys, comment on the, wow, 791 likes. Okay, comment, guys, in the chat room for YouTube. So let's get that laptop out. So gotta be active in the chat. Let's do no, man. It's such a bad idea. Like, it's such a stupid idea buying a Lambo, especially for me. Like, I don't need a car. I'm traveling all the time. And again, yesterday I was begging my friend, let me drop you. Let me give you a ride. It's just so desperate. It was.
Yeah. Well, next trip you take, just you should leave me the keys.
You guys look like you're having a lot of fun. We have that photo you guys took the other day.
Yeah. We were.
Oh, yeah, that's a picture. Yeah. Oh man. I swear to God, I didn't do it because of the Lambo. I just like the car. I just like the car. And hopefully my ex-wife she crucifies me in trial. If you know my ex-wife, please don't mention this. Looks like a RAV4, yeah, but way more expensive. Well, it's a lease. I can't sell it, so I'm stuck kind of in that for. But it's 18 months. Like, it's only 18 months. Like, 1 month is already gone.
1 month is gone.
It's not gone. I'm counting the months that is over. Like,
yeah.
Counting the months that I'm getting out of this. Laptop. Getting the laptop going on. 800 likes. Guys, thank you so much. That is yeah, it's a lease, because if you buy it and then if you want to change it, you have to sell it, and then you have to sell it eventually to Lamborghini Vancouver. Like, I could buy it and then I talk to them and say, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm gonna sell it back to you guys. So whatever price you put it in there, why am I crazy buying it? Because at the end of the day, I have to selling it to yourself. So then it becomes a lease essentially when you have the buy price and then the residual price becomes a lease. So I might as well just lease it. And if you lease it, your taxes are lower because when you buy it, you have to pay the whole amount, tax on the whole amount. But I think in the lease, it's a little bit lower. But it's totally bad decision. Don't do it, guys. If I was in Dubai, it would have been nice because Dubai is just the style of the Dubai is luxury car, sport car. You go, big highways everywhere. There's valet and everything. Here in Vancouver, every time that I come back here, just did anyone broken into there or not? It's just not the style of this city. It's too much. So, all right. So we are going to give a laptop away.
Yeah, because Megan's supposed to be coming on, isn't she? Or is that
She's standing
later?
by.
Yes.
Okay.
So we are. We are doing that.
That
would be his only car, yes.
800 likes, but 700
That's
views.
amazing, guys. Thanks for supporting that.
So I don't know how
it's
we
very
did
important.
that.
Thanks for supporting. Market doing nothing.
Likes we've gotten.
Yeah, I think this is the most likes that we ever had. So let's get that. So can you share? Can you get my screen?
There we go. On it.
We are doing. Let's see if we put that here. Get the participant. For some reason, it doesn't get everybody. Did everybody like here? Because it's 392 people. But anyway, let's get that. Let's get that number. We are doing that. Thanks for the likes.
Here we go.
Congratulations to Mester, maybe Phil Brown, maybe Gerald Ryan, maybe Trading Dashboard, maybe
Brian Pezim.
Maybe Brian Pezim. Are you in the YouTube?
Yeah. I like
Anika. Hey, do we have any Anika? Kevin Connor. Nice. Congratulations to Mrs. Anika, I assume, for the support. Oh, yeah, you are there. Congratulations. So, guys, thank you so much. So today it turned out to be a lost day for me. So I had a really good day on Netflix, but unfortunately NVIDIA loss was great. So we're closing down red $2,000 loss. Probably commission would be something around $3,000 loss. And yeah, so we hand it over to Megan. Let's see what Megan has for us. Megan, burnout. Megan, did you blow up account? How many times did you blow up account? Megan.
One time in the very beginning, but I've definitely taken some big hits too. So like it depends on kind of how you want to describe blow up. But in the beginning, I definitely blew up my account for sure. About like a year into trading, I think it was.
Yeah, well, how do you recognize that? Well, I'm actually super excited to hear what you do because there is not much going on in the market. So let's hear from you.
Okay, awesome.
Let's hear
so
from
I'm
Megan.
going to let's do this. So I'm going to hop over and share the screen, this other screen. In doing so, I'm going to have to mute this. Unfortunately, we're having a little bit of a technical issue that Brett and I are trying to figure out. So I'm going to mute you guys, but we will get going here.
Hair's looking good, by the way.
Alrighty. Okay, let me just make sure everything is muted so I'm not echoing on all of you guys here. I know that we've had issues with that in the past, so I think we should be okay. Hopefully, does it sound okay? Are we good? Give me a thumbs up if we're good. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is recognizing and managing burnout, which honestly, as far as surviving trading goes, this is a really, really big thing to focus on and recognize, because if you get burnt out as a trader and you don't recognize that it's happening and you don't figure out a way to fix it, you will, like Andrew was mentioning, blow up your account. It's just kind of inevitable. Unfortunately, that's the way things start to go for us as traders. So hopefully none of you have to cross that bridge, but the whole point here is to hopefully make it so that you don't, right? So what is trader burnout? So the first thing here is that it is the emotional and physical and mental exhaustion. So when you just start to feel super tired and you're just stressed out all the time and you've just got that like emotional drain and that physical fatigue, those are that's what burnout is, right? And we've all experienced in our life somewhere. Maybe you haven't experienced as a trader. If you have experiences as a trader, type it in the YouTube channel. Let us know if you've ever experienced burnout. But it really is that emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion. It is very common in high pressure environments, not just in trading, right? We're talking about like athletes feel it, both mentally and physically, any sort of high pressure jobs, right? Like doctors, I'm sure pilots feel it at times, anything that puts you under a very stressful environment. And the key is to really recognize it early, right? To have prolonged success and stay on top of your game, right? And survive as a trader. So some of the signs and symptoms of burnout: emotional exhaustion, right? So you're just mentally drained, you're emotionally detached from trading, right? You kind of feel like, I don't really want to be doing this today. I don't know, like there's like a feeling that you get where you're just like, I'm drained emotionally and this is becoming very difficult. You start to have decreased performance, like you start trading stuff that is outside of your trade book, just really poorly executed trades. FOMO creeps in. That's a big one. Like if you're not somebody that typically experiences FOMO, and then all of a sudden you start finding yourself chasing things or taking setups that aren't your normal setup, that is a very key indicator that you are experiencing burnout if you start to kind of stray from your trade book. Physical and mental fatigue, of course. So, you're tired, you've got eye strain, you've got headaches, difficulty concentrating. These are all symptoms of it as well. Loss of motivation. You don't really want to get out of bed in the morning. For those West Coast traders, I will say that not wanting to get out of the bed in the morning isn't necessarily loss of motivation. So just pay attention to that. Sometimes it's just the fact that it's like 4:00 in the morning. I know Andrew and Brian both understand that early morning trading, it is rough, but we do it. So loss of motivation isn't necessarily that for some of the West Coast traders. And irritability. So this one here, you're becoming short-tempered or overwhelmed by minor trading setbacks, right? Like you get stopped out of something and then it goes in your direction and you're more mad than you normally are, or even irritability outside of the markets. Your dog starts like trying to play or something and you're like, can you just stop bothering me? Irritability with your spouse, you start fighting with your spouse. So, these are all common signs and symptoms of burnout. So some of the causes of it are overtrading, right? So John actually shared this screenshot yesterday that I'm going to share with you guys of overtrading. So this is probably the most epic overtrading screenshot that ever existed. But someone did this, right? John is taking credit for it. He was out of control. He was out of his mind. He's clearly suffering from trader burnout. We got to get this man a break. He works too hard. But if your charts start looking like this, that is a sign of burnout. If they don't normally look like this. Now, someone might just trade like this all the time. I don't know, in and out, scalping like crazy. But if you don't typically trade like this and your trades start to look like this is definitely something to pay attention to. The next thing is a lack of work-life balance. So work-life balance is really important. Spending time in your personal life, exercising, spending time with friends and family. This is, an industry that it's active, 5 days of the week. It can be very addicting, and it can be hard to step away and spend time with family sometimes, right? So it can be hard to do the things that you really enjoy in life, like maybe it's running, or maybe it's rock climbing, or maybe it's just reading a book or something like that. So you got to have that work-life balance. And then emotional roller coasters can also cause it, right? So you're having these big wins and these big losses, and they can really take a toll on you emotionally. And so that can also be a thing that causes it. And then pressure to perform. I see this very often in traders that, they all of a sudden decide like they've got these unrealistic expectations, or they want to be consistent now. And they've only been trading for like maybe 6 months or maybe a year, or maybe they've been trading for a while and they're still not consistent. I always say the best expectation that you can set is no expectation, because you don't know how long something's going to take you. So if you are trying to quit your job and you're trying to provide with day trading, that's going to put a lot of pressure on you to perform well. And that pressure is going to cause you to burn out. So what are some of the things that we can do to manage burnout? So take scheduled breaks, right? Put it in your calendar if you have to, just like a meeting. It's a meeting with yourself to take a break. Some people have rules like when they get out of a trade, they go for a walk and then they come back. That could be one way to do it. Have rules around your trading of like, I walk when I have a loss, or I step away when I have a win, whatever it might be. But you can also schedule it in your day so that you remember to take these breaks. Create boundaries. So I actually don't typically trade on Fridays. This is one of my boundaries. I actually allow myself to sleep in a little bit. I take the morning very slowly. I come to my desk. I work on other things that I've been needing to work on that are related with trading, whether it's working on a course or responding to emails or whatever it might be. And this was something that I really think this is a big one. It's something that I worked on with a performance coach. One of the things that kept popping up when I would fall into burnout mode was that I was not taking enough time to myself. And I am very good at working like 15, 16-hour days Monday through Thursday. And then if I just allow myself that day to like relax and go slow, especially on the West Coast, and not have to get up at 3:45 in the morning, that is something that I do. However, today I did make an exception because I was coming on. Mike asked me to do this today. So I was like, well, I'm already doing this. So I got up and just had my normal Monday through Thursday routine. But set boundaries, create boundaries. So specific trading hours, days that you'll trade, days that you won't trade, and just, time in the market. So maybe you have a cutoff time of like, 12 p.m. Eastern or something like that. Whatever it might be. It's a boundary for you to protect yourself and your well-being. Physical and mental self-care, exercise, sleep, meditate. Meditation is a big one for traders. I do think that it is incredibly helpful. If you are not meditating and you just try like 5 minutes of it, I promise you it will help you in the long run. Meditation is so hard for people to get into, but it can be such a game changer in this because it just calms your state. Maybe you don't like meditating and sitting quietly with your thoughts. Try breath work. Breath work is a good one to just kind of calm down and take care of yourself mentally and physically. And if you don't like vigorous exercise, just go for a walk. It's very easy to just go outside and go for a walk. And get a dog so that it forces you to go for a walk. Emotional awareness, right? So keep track of your mental state. Some people just aren't emotionally aware, right? Maybe we weren't taught that as kids to how to have emotional awareness, right? So one of the things that you can do as traders, we are very kind of like binary thinking, most of us. So we think in numbers, we think in, 1R, 2R, ones, zeros, whatever it is. So if you need to set up a grading system in the morning that asks you questions that are binary, right? So did I get enough sleep last night? Yes, give yourself a 1. No, give yourself a 0. Ask yourself a series of questions so that you can have emotional, physical awareness, and then tally it up at the end. Maybe a 5 lets you trade for the day, less than a 5, you don't trade for the day, or something like that, just so that there is a very specific way to track your mental state if you are struggling to be emotionally aware of how you're feeling. Set realistic goals. So, reaching for the stars and having stretch goals is important, but breaking it down and allowing it to be realistic. Maybe you won't have a Lambo like Andrew tomorrow, but he's been trading for a while and he got it, right? But now he doesn't even really want it. So maybe don't set that goal. Connect with community. So all of you are here, you're on YouTube or in the BBT chat room. If you're not a member of BBT, please join us, connect with your fellow traders, throughout the entire day, not just in the morning. Connect with the community of traders and get that support. So that's all I've got for you today. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to take some questions. Or if anybody wants to share anything, please feel free to share. I cannot hear Brent, so he's going to cue me out with music via Telegram Messenger when he's ready to kick me off the stage. But I thought I saw maybe a question come through while I was talking. Add zeros. Let's see. You asked how much resemble is okay. Not quite sure what that is in regards to. If you want to repost kind of the question, I'm happy to answer it. Yeah. So are any of you feeling burnt out right now? Like, that's a good question, right? Like, ask yourself right now as we're talking about this, do I feel burnt out? Am I tired? Am I emotionally drained? Am I like just struggling today? Like, am I chasing crap that I shouldn't be in? Ask yourself those questions. It's really, really important to ask yourself that. So how did I recover from losing an account? I took a break. I went back to sim for like 6 months after that, right? So I just was like, that something is off. I am just like so burnt out. I'm struggling as a trader. And I'm just, you start to get into that space, especially if you're spiraling. So if anybody's experienced this, which I think a lot of traders do, but you start to have losing days back to back to back to back, or losing trades back to back to back. And it creates this spiral if you're unable to kind of step out of it. It's like a tornado. It just spirals around and around and around. And like, if you don't step out of it, you just continue to spiral with it. You continue to take losses until eventually your account really does blow up. And that's what happened to me. So step away from that, step away from the tornado, and take a break. It's okay to take a break. And please, guys, remember, sim exists for a reason. I still use it sometimes. Like, it is there to practice, to, when you're not feeling your best, still get in the reps if you want to. Like, if you're like, I'm not feeling my best today, emotionally or physically, I don't really have anything else I want to do, I would still like to learn. All right, do it in the sim. There's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, nothing wrong with trading the simulator. You need to like make sure that that is something, a sticking point for you. All right, so the slides I could put in the room drive, Dwayne. Yeah, no problem. And then Adrian, good to put the stop loss amount of money on the broker if it happens that you get burnt out. Absolutely. Put in risk controls. If you're feeling burnt out, one of the best things you can do is have somebody else also protect you from yourself, right? So putting risk controls in DOS in your broker, I don't know, giving a login to your significant other that they check on it and they're like, no, absolutely not. You're done. Get out of your office today. So put those risk controls in place, whatever they might be. John Lamb, you're saying that this hits hard this week. So maybe it's coming at the right time, right? So a sign from the universe, it is time to sit back, think about this, journal about it, right? It's really important to kind of recognize what's happening. Were you knowledgeable enough, you think, would you blow up your account? Definitely not. I think in the beginning, you always think you are, right? I think as traders, we think that we know everything every time we learn something new. And the best thing you can remind yourself is that you don't know everything. And that being knowledgeable enough in the beginning is something that can be difficult. It does take time to learn. So that was definitely something as well, working against the kind of the knowledge there. And all right, I'll answer like a couple more questions here because I'm getting queued out with the the music from Brent. He's messaging me. Do I think people have an issue stopping or taking a break due to addiction? Monk, that's a fantastic question. I'm obviously not a trained psychologist, but as someone who has struggled with addiction in certain parts of my life, I do. That is definitely something that can be difficult, right? It can add to it. You're already programmed for those dopamine hits. You're already programmed to want more of something. And so trading is definitely a place where you can just take those dopamine hits over and over and over again. It's right here. I could sit here all day and just stab at my computer and take trades, right? So I do think if addiction is something that you've struggled with, it is something that, spend some time thinking about, working on, maybe, work with a psychologist on it. But I do think that it can add to it. Okay. So I am getting queued out. I'm going to wrap up. That's the last question I'm going to take today. If you have more questions, you can find me in the chat room. I am on the microphone Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sometimes I'm hopping on other times with other people. So thanks for joining us today. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up and a subscribe. And if you're not a member, please join our room. We're a great community and we love hanging out with you guys. So have a great weekend, everybody. A fantastic Friday. Spend some time on your burnout, kind of just thinking about it, if you're burnt out or not. Take some time to yourself this weekend, get away from the screens and get outside. So have a good one, you guys. Happy weekend. Happy Friday.